Have you ever looked back and thought, gosh, I wish I would have done that differently, or if only I would have known this? You know what? It's not too late. Stick with me to the end of the video. You're going to see something that's going to create a little hope for you today. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I've been helping parents for over 3 decades as a professional psychologist. A lot of times I get this question from parents whose kids are already older, maybe teenagers, maybe even young adults. Is it too late? But I also get it from parents who are just starting out and their kids are still pretty young. The good news is it's never too late to be a better parent. But I have a little disclaimer first. I'm not here to make you a better parent. In fact, the fact that you're watching this video tells me that you're already a better parent. In my professional experience, parents who care enough to ask the question, how can I be a better parent, are already better parents. And to put a little context around that, for 13 years of my career, I did child custody evaluations for the court. I also did parental fitness evaluations in cases where the court was considering terminating parental rights. I have seen a lot of examples, and that's why I'm feeling pretty confident today when I look right at you and say you are a good parent. Now, could you be better? Yeah, but when is that going to stop being true? It could always be better. I love the way Maya Angelou put this. She said, do the best you know how to do. When you know better, do better. Maybe by the end of this video, we'll know a few things that we could do a little better. But I'm not here to make you a better parent. I'm here to tell you you already are a good parent. Now let's see if we can gain some confidence moving forward. Parenting is a long-term relationship, and it doesn't end when your kids grow up. I know this now because people ask me sometimes, how many kids do you have, Dr. Paul? 0. I have 4 adults that grew up in my home, and now they have their own lives, and I've got 8 grandkids now. But you come over to my house, you're not going to see any kids anywhere. I don't have any kids. They're all adults now. These adults that I raised, I'm still their parent. But here's the thing. They don't need a parent anymore. We don't control the other humans. I'm just going to let that land for a minute. Okay? We don't control the other humans, except for our kids for a while. Now, you're following this, right? Because eventually your kids take over the control of their own life, whether you want to share it with them or not. But while they're little, they have to have us control their life. It's the only way that they can survive. So this is why parents get trapped sometimes in this idea that their job is to make sure that their kids, whatever, make sure that they're safe, make sure that they eat their dinner, make sure that they do their homework, make sure that they are good, responsible citizens, make sure that they stay close to the faith, make sure that they never break the law or use drugs. Now, as noble as that sounds, it's not even possible. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm saying you can't make sure that There are a few exceptions to that when they're little. Make sure that they get into their car seat. Okay, well, when they're infants, you just strap them in. They're protesting the whole time. They don't want to go to the store with you, but that doesn't matter because you control that. Try doing that with your 15-year-old. So as kids get more mature, we lose control as parents. Now, why am I making a big deal about this? Because the number one thing that parents need to understand is how to share control with their kids. I don't care how old your kids are right now. You can be a better parent by understanding the interplay between control and maturity. I've got a little gift for you today. And before we move on to the next point, here's what it looks like. This is a model that I have developed around control and maturity. This comes from 3 decades of clinical experience, and I think it's something that every parent needs to know and understand. I'll put this right in your inbox. Go to the URL on the screen right now, drpauljenkins.com/stages, and that will put you in touch with this model that I think is going to make a huge difference for you. I remember once I was interviewing Dr. Lily de Hoyos Anderson on my podcast, Live on Purpose Radio. And Dr. Anderson said this. It had such an impact on me. She said, the number one product of positive parenting is the parent. Let me say that again. The number one product of positive parenting is the parent. Parenting is the number one personal development program on the planet. And as you learn more about yourself through parenting, you become a more positive person. That's hard to see sometimes when you're really frustrated. But I tell parents all the time to look for 3 specific feelings: frustration, anger, and resentment. If you feel one of those, frustration, anger, or resentment, it usually means that you get to work on something. And it's misleading because you're thinking, oh, I know who needs to work on something. I am so mad at my kid right now, or my teenager, or my young adult. But that's misleading, because you don't control them. And like I said earlier, there's a little exception, because your little kids you control for a while and then they grow out of that. Your bigger kids you control less for a while, but then they grow out of that. Your teenagers you control even less for a while and then they grow out of that. Your young adults you don't control at all. And so we have to be able to transition in our own heart and mind how we share that control. And gradually over time, as our kids mature, we move from a very transactional relationship that we have with them when they're little, as we teach them about cause and effect, choice and accountability, do this, get that. We move from that transactional phase through to a very relational phase. I have 8 grandchildren at the time of this particular filming today. My relationship with those 8 kids depends on my relationship with my kids, who aren't kids anymore. Are you with me on this? That means if we stay transactional when our kids need to have a more relational interaction with us, we're going to lose them. They will fire us. And I get invited to speak at events where grandparents have been alienated from their grandkids because of the relationship that's so strained with their own kids. Is it too late to be a better parent? No. In fact, this might be the very best time for you to work really diligently on that, no matter what phase of parenting you're in right now. I feel to invite you to learn more about what positive parenting is all about. Watch this video next. Before you watch that next video, just a little reminder. Your job as a parent is to love them, no matter what. And even if it's not to make sure that they anything. We really suck at that anyway, because we don't get to control the other humans, except for our kids for a little while. Remember, your job is to love them no matter what, and even if. Come watch that next video. I'll see you there.